lie, that's going to be a really tough act to follow. It was really good, guys. My name is Phil Carter. I'm a product designer at Fuse, and along with myself and Parker Dempsey, who's on our team, she's a product designer as well, we've put together a prototype for the new app for the Columbus Zoo. We envision this app as something that could really enhance your experience while you're at the zoo, but it also could be utilized as a resource when you are not at the zoo. And another goal of this app was to really bring up to a level of feature parity that other amusement parks and zoos currently have available to them. So, and we also want to use this app as a foundation to build upon in the future as you develop new exhibits or new interactive experiences. We really want this to be something that you can build upon later. So we start, when you first launch the app, we are going to start at the map. And the map is really going to be the central focus and the first thing we display on startup. It functions like any other map that you have on your smartphone. You can hand around it, you can pinch to zoom. There's a location indicator. Let me see if my mouse works. Perfect. There's a location indicator, which has a cute little avatar that you can select of an animal at the zoo to indicate your current position. And the bottom nav bar the bottom of the screen is going to act as a filter for the map. The Animals tab is the default view, and it's going to show exhibits for each region in the zoo. In this case, we're in Asia Quest. We'll come back to those icons that you see on there here in just a moment. Everybody has told stories about coming up here and you have your kids, and the kids really dictate your experience when you're at the zoo. We see the animals they want to see, and we leave the animals when they are hungry or when they need to go potty. So this app is really designed to help you basically have a good experience at the zoo with your family. So if you tap the food app, icons for the animals and the exhibits go away. We display an icon for the nearest food location. If you're going to tap on that icon, it will display things like price range, cuisine type, walking directions, that kind of thing, even in a menu. You tap on the restrooms. Again, it's not sexy, but you need it. It shows, if you tap on the restrooms, it's going to show walking directions. Also going to tell you which facilities are equipped with things like changing stations, which one have family restrooms, which ones are wheelchair accessible. If we click on the Attractions tab, we can show the attractions that require extra cost. These are things like the train ride, the carousel, giraffe feeding, and also off to the screen, we also have an off-screen indicator that shows you the present location in the zoo. These on-screen indicators of your present location would only be displayed if you're on zoo property. If you're off premises, you won't get that little feature. We can also click on the More tab. These are going to be the other services that are available at the zoo, and it's also a place where we can use to expand as we add to the application. So guest relations, security, first aid, wheelchair stroller, locker rentals, we can add those here as well. So let's go back to the Animals tab. And what does it look like when we tap on these icons? Well, we get a helpful pop-up. So my kids want to learn more about the elephants. Okay, well there's an elephant icon here. I'll click on that. I get a helpful pop-up. I can see that, okay, this is the exhibit for the Asian elephant. I can see what region of the zoo it's in, Asia Quest. It tells me how far away of a walk it is for me, which is going to be really critical if you have kids. Legs get tired. Okay, it's only 5 minutes away to see it. And we also give them a notification if there's an upcoming special event for that exhibit. In this case, hey, they're going to feed elephants in 26 minutes, so just stick around for that. If we click on the little person walking, we can also get walking directions as well, in which case we're going to get a guided path from our present location, again, if we're on zoo premises. And at the top of the screen, we'll also receive walking directions. So in this case, we're going to turn right about 20 feet. But what does it look like when we explore this exhibit? Well, let's click on it. So now, So now we can see more information about the exhibit that we're looking at. In this case, this is the Asian elephant. We have its Animalia Kingdom information about it. We have its current status in the wild, and we can get answers to basic questions. How often do you go to the zoo and your kids say to you, well, what do elephants eat? Well, I don't know. I got most of my education from Disney movies. I just assumed peanuts from Dumbo. But that's not right, obviously. So we can click on this general information accordion. We can get this extra information. Oh, well, in the zoo, the herbivore pellets. Delicious. In the wild, they eat grass, leaves, branches, fruits, and vegetables, right? You can be like a superhero to your kids and you tell them this information. A lot of this great information is available in the placards that are around the exhibit, but we're putting it at your fingertips here. Well, there's also upcoming attractions that might be interesting to you as you're walking around the zoo. So, for instance, feeding the giraffes is only done at certain times. What if we can notify you of that? So as you're walking around the zoo, you could receive a helpful, non-intrusive pop-up that tells you, hey, you can feed the giraffes in the next 10 minutes. You can ignore it, it'll go away after a few seconds, but it's not intrusive, it's not something that's going to bother you or get in the way of your experience at the time of the zoo. So let's go back to the attractions. It's going to have the same type of experience when you click on the icon for these attractions. This is the North American Train Ride. But it also allows us to purchase tickets for the event right in our phone, but how are we going to manage that? There's no printer on the phone currently. As you know, when you buy a ticket, it's going to print out a ticket, and the person at the gate's going to scan it for you. That's all being managed right now through our account tab. So the top right of the app, it gives you access to your account, and that's where we're going to manage all of your purchases and your experience for the app. As you can see, we have our name, we can see how long we've been a member, we have a QR code that calls back to all of our information that's been purchased for our account, and we can tell you what's on this account currently. So we're a Family Plus membership, we have a Zoo It All parking pass. It also gives you an opportunity to purchase new services. So feedings, behind-the-scene experiences, before and after hours. This is also a place you can manage your account, manage your picture, change your membership preferences, get some help, or change your privacy settings. In the top left, we have a hamburger menu, and this is where we're going to house everything that's related to the zoo itself. So again, we're going to show you the hours, what time does the zoo close today, what's the weather like here now. It's also an opportunity for us to highlight the conservation efforts that are underway at the zoo. We can cross-promote the Zoom Easy Bay, Safari Golf, the Wilds, if they have individual applications, or we can take you to the websites. It could be expanded to include job or volunteer opportunities in the future. And in the education tab, that's where we could house quizzes, quiz builders, games, anything else that the zoo wants to help promote from this group. So I've shown you some exhibits now for a specific animal, but what if we were at an exhibit that has more than one animal? What does that look like? Well, the aquarium is a really great example of that. So let's explore the exhibit. And now we're presented with a list of all the different animals that are available to you to see in the aquarium. And you can imagine if you wanted to learn more about angelfish, you click on the angelfish and provide it with the same helpful information about the animal like we did with the Asian elephants. But how do we get to the next step from here? This is great. This gets us to where we expect an app to be. How do we go beyond this? How do we want to start building interactive experiences? How do we get those built into here? Well, what if we used this screen, for instance, as a way to serve as a launching point for those experiences? So let's imagine a few years down the line after this launch that we created a new interactive game, and we call it Deep Sea Detective. And from here, now we're advertising this new experience when you're in the aquarium, and we say, oh, hey, this looks interesting. It's got a pleasant anthropomorphic fish looking at me. I'm going to start exploring and see what that is. And now it's an interactive augmented reality game where this fish could ask you questions, and you can say, what type of fish eats other fish? And you have to point your camera at the fish, and through machine learning, we've trained it to know all the different inventory of fish that live at the aquarium, and it can answer that question for you. Or you can answer the question, and it'll tell you if you're right or wrong. So, in summary, we're really looking to provide a map-first experience to the visitors at the zoo. We want to give guests a way to maximize their time at the exhibits and attractions. We want to have opportunities to highlight with visitors the conservation efforts and educational opportunities available at the zoo. And this is all the stuff that we're doing for the guests. What about all the benefits that the zoo could reap from this? We have all this information now about the guests and the locations, so now we could, if you can imagine a back-end system, we could look at heat maps of guest density, updated in real time. Popular exhibits and their peak times, exhibits that may need additional promotion during slow times. Historical guest density and estimates that can be used to help inform staffing needs. It could also be used as an avenue to communicate with guests during weather emergencies, security events, or even part of lost child protocols. What if we could use this app to communicate with others when there's a situation in the zoo? What if there's a lot, as Stephen mentioned when we took our tour, if a child's missing for more than 7 minutes, security protocols go into place. What if we could turn everybody who has this app as a way to help find a lost child? What if we could communicate with them their name, the picture, so that everybody could help and wait for them to contact security? Any questions?